A few weeks ago, Nothing dropped its first ever flagship, the Nothing Phone 3, and it received a lot of feedback. But for the last 30 days, I've been living with this $800 flagship as my main phone to see if Nothing's hype was real, or is there just nothing special about it? I'm going to start with something that not a lot of people have said, and I love the design of this thing. When I first saw photos of this, I thought, that's interesting. But as soon as I got my hands on it, I couldn't help but think, okay, that's pretty cool. And I feel like in every shot I've taken of this, it just can't look bad. We're definitely in a place where phones are a bit boring. They mostly look the same. They mostly act the same. But if you're trying to stand out, then there is nothing better than the Nothing Phone 3. This is my first time ever using a Nothing phone, and I love the transparency. I love the unconventional blockiness of it. The red recording light, the off-centered cameras. I don't think that this thing looks out of place in some sort of modern art museum. Here's a fun fact. I actually just tried to take this into a modern art museum to prove my point, and they told me to get out. How boring. What I'm trying to say is that we ask for different, we ask for something unique, and when a company actually gives it to us, we can't bash them for doing something different and doing what we want. It might be a little bit too heavy, and I'm sure it goes against every single design rule that is out there, and that's one of the reasons why I love the look of this thing. There is something that creeps me out though, and it's just how many holes are on this case. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and if you count this big one here where you put the phone, 13. The thing is, I don't know if you need a case, because after a few drops, nicks, damn, and generally just not being careful with the Nothing Phone 3, it is holding up really well. One of the biggest selling points though on the Nothing Phone 3 is that Glyph interface, and trust me, I have tried to use this. From the selfie camera, the always on display, and even trying to check my battery. The problem is though that I am forcing myself to use it for a review, and if I'm forcing myself to use it and I still don't use it, then I just don't think that most people will use it. Don't get me wrong, it is cool. You can play the rock, paper, scissors, you can do spin the bottle, but honestly, I haven't done any of that. And it is cool for adding personal glyphs for contacts, but you know, other than that, I just kind of forget it's there. Cassie! We have to talk about the cameras though on the Nothing Phone 3, and for a flagship price, do you get flagship cameras? Well, kinda. You get 3 cameras, a 50 megapixel main, you also get a 50 megapixel telephoto camera at 3 times optical, and another 50 megapixel for the ultrawide. And to put it plainly, these cameras are good. They don't stand out for being great, but they also don't really let you down. The main lens I really like. It gives you some quite nice colours that are pretty vibrant, but they aren't too oversaturated, and as cliche as this sounds, it does show off a pretty good example of what I was seeing with my eye. The pictures have some pretty good details in them, and I really don't have too many complaints. Even in low light, they tend to do a pretty nice job. There might be a little less detail if you are really trying to focus on it, but for the most part, and for most people, I don't think you'll have too many complaints. Where my complaints mostly come in though is in low light photos of the ultra-wide lens, and to put it plainly, these just aren't very good. There's lots of noise, there really isn't much detail, and overall it's not a great photo. For that ultra-wide, it performs best outside in good light, and then there really aren't too many complaints about the photos that it captures. There might be a slight loss of detail around those edges, but really there's nothing too drastically wrong with it. My other complaint on the ultra-wide though is that sometimes it just struggles to focus on what's actually in front of it, which honestly can just be a little bit annoying. For the 50 megapixel f2.7 telephoto lens, I am more than happy with this. I like that it produces some really nice detailed photos, especially in bright sunlight. If you're taking pictures of buildings or landscapes, then you're really not going to have too much trouble here, as it does a great job. It's in darker situations where this isn't always amazing. It's slightly hit and miss. Some of the images can look great, then some of them can just be a little bit soft. And talking of hit and miss, that's kind of what I get with its macro photography. Okay, this is actually quite impressive, like using the telephoto to get close to a subject without actually having to be close. I'm impressed. The Nothing Phone 3 uses a telephoto lens for its macro photography, and I prefer that over an ultra-wide. It means that I don't have to get super close to get that macro shot, and for the most part, this produces some pretty nice detailed images. I did find though that if I'm in light that's slightly off, that the photo is quite slow from when you press the shutter button, and if I move the camera to check the photo, then you end up with this. I would say that the performance of the camera on the Nothing Phone 3 is pretty good. Like, it stacks up well to the S25 Ultra and the Pixel 9 Pro XL, and when it comes to video, it definitely is on par with both of those. The video from all three lenses I really like. They all have great contrast, surprisingly good stabilization, and in general they take some really good images, and I wasn't expecting the videos to look this good, and I've taken a lot of videos of my new dog Cassie. It's when you get into low light that the video can be inconsistent. Sometimes the video will look great, and sometimes it can just look plain bad, with no real detail and more noise than the people that don't like the design of this phone. Talking of stacking up though, does it stack up performance-wise? And yeah, it does. Despite not having a flagship chip and coming with one that you'd expect to see on a sub $500 phone, you could be forgiven here for forgetting that that's even an issue, because quite frankly, it's not. Should it have a flagship chip for $800? Yeah, and just because people don't notice it in day-to-day tasks, it doesn't mean you shouldn't give people what they pay for. Having said that though, I still haven't noticed any issues with the Snapdragon 8S Gen 4, and I think that's because Nothing OS is pretty well optimized, and it is my first time using it, and I genuinely think that this comes out as one of the better Android skins. It looks different to stock Android, but it's not too different. It has some lovely, useful widgets, and then some that aren't so useful. What you can't knock though is the build quality of the Nothing Phone 3. It's built like a flagship phone, and that display is great. It's a 6.67-inch OLED, and I love it. It's got a bright 5100 nits display, but I did notice that the auto brightness sometimes takes a little bit too long to brighten up that screen when outside, so a little bit annoying. But the best part of this phone is that it has 65-watt charging, and its battery is great. It's a 5150 mAh silicon carbon battery, which in real life terms means that it lasts a day easily, and you'll get into a second day without much of a sweat if you're using the phone lightly. The Nothing Phone 3 definitely has some good bits, but also when you do a review, there's also some bad bits. And one negative for me is that if you are billing this as a true flagship, it really shouldn't have an optical fingerprint reader. I feel like that is just copping out a little bit. It doesn't cost a lot more to add an ultrasonic fingerprint reader, so the optical fingerprint reader on here, whilst fine, is just a little bit slow. Then you have the dedicated essential space key, and honestly, this is more annoying than useful. I've taken so many accidental screenshots, and I just wish Nothing would let us map this to something else. But besides all those small issues, this is almost tempting enough to be my daily driver. The problem with the Nothing Phone 3 though is Nothing themselves. They built the hype around this as the next true flagship, and whilst it's definitely almost there, I don't think anyone would settle on the side of it actually being a flagship. Nothing built its brand on being a good, affordable phone, but when you charge $800 for a phone that doesn't quite live up to your own hype, then there's always going to be a problem. If this was priced at maybe $100 cheaper than it is, and Nothing had built it up to be their best phone and not a true flagship, then I just don't think there would be many complaints about what this phone can do. And when you tell the world that this is the next true flagship and it isn't, then it's always going to be a tough hill to climb. I stand by the fact that I think that the design is one of the best that I've seen in an Android phone in a long time, and I know that a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but it stands out. It's definitely different, and it delivers on what you need from a phone, and Nothing is building out a really fun and impressive ecosystem. And I have to say that Nothing OS is definitely in my top 3 Android skins, and it's almost enough to make me switch to this full time. But then I remember it's $800, and I have to put myself in a position where if I had to go out and spend $800 on this phone, would I pick it up? I probably wouldn't. Let me know your thoughts though. Have you bought it? Will you buy it? And if you have bought it already, why? I'm curious. Before you head off, why not subscribe to the Android Authority channel? And if you do that, then I will see you in the next video.